the first speaker session would be from Jennifer Cornelio, head of human resource with Cloudeats. And Jennifer has an extensive experience as an HR. I think, as HR professional, starting her internship from McDonald's, PLDT, Mint, and now as the current head of human resource in Cloudeats, right? She graduated with a degree in behavioral science and also has a master's in industrial organizational psychology, right? So if for more information, you can always look for, Jennifer Cornello on LinkedIn. I'm sure you'd be able to find. But over to you, Jennifer, if in case you want to, I think you're the first speaker of the day for us. So
Yes, thank you, Manuel. So I'm gonna
you're
share like
welcome.
a couple of slides. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
take
sure.
15 minutes.
No, you can. And then if in case there are no questions, but we can make it, a general question and answers again.
So this is actually about Cloudeats. I'm just gonna present what Cloudeats is all about. As some candidates, I often get questions on what is it all about. So we are the first and largest cloud kitchen in the Southeast Asia. We are the first also in the Philippines. All our brands are listed in Grab Food and Food Panda. So how do we work? We operate 24/7. We never close. Our restaurant never closes because people are always hungry. There's no time for their hunger. We have fully equipped industry grade kitchen. We have lots of and lots of manpower. I started in this organization this year, January. We were about 150 then. We are now at 400 and counting and still hiring. We are in e-commerce. Therefore, we're very data driven and we use data in our everyday lives so that we can decide and provide better services to our consumers. At the moment, we have 10 cloud kitchens in the Philippines. We opened one yesterday in the in the Philippines, and then one more next week also in the Philippines. And then yesterday we opened our Vietnam site. We are targeting to open 30 to 50 more kitchens by next year. This will cover different parts of in the Southeast Asia. In the Philippines alone, we're targeting 40s before the year 2022 closes. We have 16 food verticals. These are like the chicken wings, the healthy, the dessert, drinks, etc. So at the moment, we have 48 online restaurants and we have 400 dishes that a cloud kitchen can prepare. So you can imagine what a kitchen looks like if you're servicing 48 restaurants with 700 up to 700 dishes at the moment. All of our brands are owned by Cloud Eats. We don't do the rental, we don't franchise. We have chefs inside the workplace to develop our own cuisine, and it depends on what type of market we are catering to. All right, so some of the brands you might have ordered, some of them. So in the Philippines, we have the Burger Beast by Chef Carlo Miguel. We have Rian Ramos, the Healthy Appetite. We also have the 24/7 coffee in the Philippines. We will launch digitally native food brands as well with Vietnam and Malaysia and Thailand. All right, so why do you want to work for us? We learn directly with the owners, and it's gonna fast track your growth when you're with Cloudeats, and you become part of projects with bigger impacts, and you can see the result immediately and in real time. So if you are the type of person who wants to see your results, who want to have your hand or body and a project. So this is actually the best opportunity for you. We're a small organization. In the head office, we're just around 30 employees, and the rest of the operations, they're already close to 400. So if you want to be part of us, you can just reach out to me in LinkedIn, or you can apply directly through Propal. We just recently partnered with your organization a couple of weeks ago, and we have already hired one candidate as our operations manager. So we're very happy with your organization. That actually ends our presentation with Cloudeats.
All right, thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
And I think so. There was a question in the chat
I think
box.
you will be yes. Yes, there is a package. At the moment, we have Manila beside the UST. We have better inside Better Living. We have one in Las Piñas, in San Pedro, Laguna, Bacoor, Cavite, Marikina, Cainta, Maginhawa inside near the UP Dalaman, Quezon City. We also have one in Fairview. We have also in Green Hills and in San Juan, and we also have commissary and warehouse in our San Juan site. We're moving to North Luzon, Cebu, and Davao by January and February, and we're rapidly expanding, and we're doing this simultaneously as we reach that 40 mark for the Philippines. So if you want to join us, we never stop hiring, and we never stop interviewing and processing candidates. So it's a 24 by 7 work in recruitment for us.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. You actually made me hungry, and not just me. I
Yes.
think so. Not just me. I think so. There are a lot of other people over here, who start feeling hungry. They were scroll. I think so. They started taking out the phone and scrolling through different food delivery apps. I know that happens, right? So, yeah, thank you so much for that. Now, I'm sure you're doing amazing in terms, especially the way the company is expanding across different cities in Philippines. The way you showed where you were and how you are right now as a company, speaks a lot of volume, right? And definitely a lot of opportunity for any graduate out there to go ahead and apply. And
Yes, we
y-
recently closed our Series A investment. I
mhm.
think around October. We're doing the Series B round as of the moment, and we hope to close it as early as next year.
So well funded though as well.
Yes.
Wonderful. And I think so. There's one question for you, Jennifer. A question for Cloudeats. Do you accept internships suitable for IT?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We hire, as mentioned earlier, we hire internships or all year long and different departments. We love this internship program because it provides us a different lens, especially from the younger ones. They see things differently, and we're very welcome with that opportunity and feedback coming from them.
Okay, wonderful. Sounds good. Any other questions from the audience? Because it's the right time to ask, the questions to Jennifer regarding Cloud Eats, and then, I'm sure you would be able to get your answers here.
Our internship, you can do it either from home or in person. That's why
Okay,
we
so
have
they do.
interns coming
You're
from
open to
different,
that.
yes, yes, and we have interns coming from different countries who are also doing their internship with us.
Perfect. I think so. There's one other question, Jennifer. Any specific course you're targeting?
Courses we hire for operations, finance, and our commercials. So commercials actually pretty much broad if you're the product, the tech, or anything data driven. So um, any person actually will do. We have lots of interns and we accept it all year long. And we're very happy that we're able to help them in their career after they work intern as an intern for us. If we have opportunities for the interns, then definitely we will accept them. But if not at the moment, then we're very happy to help you boost your career after you graduate. Yes, we are opening in Malaysia. And you can apply so that when we open Malaysia by February, then you're gonna see the opening. You're gonna witness how we open it.
Wonderful. And do you accept business management majors as
Uh,
well?
yes, we do. We hire from different courses. We're not very particular with the type of course you have, provided that you're very passionate, you like doing data and numbers, you're very creative, you have lots of ideas from in your head that you would want to share, you're very collaborative and you can communicate your ideas well, then you're in the right environment.
Okay, sounds good. I think so. I'll take one last question. It says for Ms. Jen, can you list a few job opportunities under Cloud Eats for graduates in food technology?
Oh, for food technology, we have the field operations. We also have the QA, the quality control. But this is a field job. You have to go and visit the kitchen so that you can actually see their what they're doing, and also you can also train them on how to do their work properly. And yeah, that's for food technology. Either you want to cook, we can hire you. We don't hire contractuals, we don't hire temporary employees, we hire everyone permanent, and you're secured with your job when you're with Cloudeats.
Okay, wonderful. And all the other people who are attending, I'm sure you can apply for the opportunity. There was a chat message that has been shared. You can apply for the opportunity from there as well. And yeah,
I'm gonna respond to the questions.
sure, please.
I'll just type. All right. I'll just reply to them. All right. Thank you, Manuel.
You're welcome, Jennifer, and thank you so much, for that wonderful session. And I think so. We have a second speaker in the house right now, and this is Joyce, graduated with a degree in psychology in Saint Scholastica, and has great experience in the HR field throughout the years. Joyce has led the HR team of various companies, West Corporation, Alorica Booth and Partners, Caves Manpower, and now as the talent acquisition manager for Offshore Business Processing. Right. So, Joyce, over to you. Whenever you're ready, you can take over from me.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for the introduction. So
Thank you,
again,
Joyce.
hello, everyone. So I will just be providing a quick introduction of the company that I'm affiliated with. So again, I'm part of Offshore Business Processing. So earlier, I was able to discuss something about the company, with us being 100% Australian owned, and we're operating with over 100 clients globally, that we were established in 2013 and affiliated with the different legitimate organizations here in the Philippines also. So that's for Offshore Business Processing. So for now, I mentioned that we are mostly affiliated with logistics and freight forwarding companies. So we are particularly looking for data entry specialists, licensed customs broker, customer service support, APAR specialists, sales support specialists, help desk officers, team leaders, trainers, and full stack developers. So if there are people here who have friends having the same qualifications or background, be them fresh graduates or experienced individuals, just please send their applications over, or you can just invite them to possibly visit Prospel's landing page. All right. And we are not very particular when it comes to the profiles that we have. So with or without experience will be fine, college graduate or college undergraduate. And I also mentioned the skills that we are particularly looking for in our applicants earlier. So behavior, personality, and the culture fit are the main drives that we have to consider someone to belong in OBP or Offshore Business Processing. So basically, in terms of the process, you'll be undergoing the interviews, applicant assessment, and job offer. And we're happy to say that in terms of the timeline, we're able to keep it within 1 week or possibly 3 days in a span of the timeline that we have for each and every applicant. Okay. All right, so why work in OBP? So number one is we value the uniqueness of our employees. So we respect each and every individuals. There are equalities in terms of the value. And because we're not really a full-blown, company with a lot of employees all over. So we treat everyone as a family. We're a tight-knit, close family, and we offer a fun working environment in offshore business processing. So as much as possible, I mentioned earlier about helping people progress in their different careers, different roles. So we offer a place for you to excel in OBP. And as much as possible, we inspire everyone to work, and we provide unique BPO experience at the same time. Okay, and apart from that, of course, OBP also recognizes the talents and recognizes the work or the effort that we have. So sorry about the noise. So we offer incentives like Employee of the Month, Team of the Month, Employee of the Year, Most Valuable Performer of the Month, and Employee of the Quarter. So there. Okay, so of course, the key to success is action, and the essential in action is perseverance, something to impart to our fresh graduates and experienced individuals just the same. All right, so possibly I'll be entertaining more about the questions pertaining to OBP or offshore business processing later on, be it live or in chat. So of course, I would want to share something to our audience here or the other participants. So the title of my talk is Step 1, Goal Setting. So why did I choose this topic? It's because, of course, if you're going to take on a certain career path, this is the number one thing, or the step one that you're supposed to consider. It's goal setting. All right. So of course, I would want all of the participants, or possibly those of you with current New Year's resolution. So this is quite timely to just type in what your goals are. Okay, so it can be personal goals, it can be work goals. So what are you looking for in the next year? Or what are you hoping to start in the upcoming 2022? Okay, so possibly start a startup company. That's from Erica, one of our audience. And of course, possibly for some, it can be eating healthy, exercising a lot, being able to help others, reducing the amount of stress that they have in their life. And of course, possibly learning more. And in terms of work, definitely, we also have our different, priorities. So we have our own resolutions when it comes to work. Possibly, I am going to target on my promotion, or possibly I will gain another qualification. I will become more organized. I will try to learn a new skill. So these are the things that we have in terms of our resolution. I saw another good, resolution coming from Sir Wilfred Lejano from Prospel. So it's giving more importance to my mental health. So the list continues. But basically, these resolutions, whenever we try to form them, we also try to set up a goal. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next slide. So what are goals? So goals are actually specific, close-ended, quantifiable objectives with a fixed time frame for achieving them. So meaning to say, when we set goals, these are something that we have to measure, something that we can measure, something that we can describe, and it has to be as specific as possible for us to determine this and for us not to be confused. Okay, so the purpose of this is that you have to concentrate energy. So that's the main number one purpose. You have to give direction and self-discovery at the same time. Okay, all right, and then of course, what or how do we go about our goal setting? We have different essential questions for this. Of course, as fresh graduates, or since we're just about to start in our career, initially we will have to ask ourselves, what do we want to do? What is it about the job that we're doing from before, or what is it about the course that made us take it? So this realization will help us create a definite goal. And of course, what's your passion? So of course, everyone is normally driven when it comes to passion. And how do you feel about it right now? Because our goals can somehow change. So we have to make sure that we are able to set a definite plan and definite goal. And what are you doing right now to help others? So that's another thing. And when to set goals. So in terms of setting goals, I will advise everyone that the perfect time to set goals is now, especially since, we're trying to come up with a lot of resolutions. And I believe that at the start of the year, it's really, motivating, inspiring, and even refreshing to start with our new career. So any moment now is really an early time. So best to act on it now instead of later. Okay. All right. So why do goals fail? Of course, we get to see some of the goals fail from time to time. And, whenever a goal failed, it's not really the end of the world. We can try to reconstruct it, try to, reassess as to what went wrong, how can we possibly fix it. Okay. So of course, goals fail because sometimes we set unrealistic goals. Like possibly you just graduated for this year, you would want to become a manager by next year. So that's part of your goal. And when we say becoming a manager, you would want to, step into a role which would require around 3 or even 5 years of experience. So that's being unrealistic. Underestimating the completion time. So again, we have to draft a certain realistic time. And of course, set other people's goal, meaning to say, you might have wanted to become this one person. This is going to be your goal. But on the other hand, at the back of your mind, you are being triggered by someone else, like you're being pressured by your friends, or you are being pressured by your family. Your family wants you to become this, when as a matter of fact, it's not really your passion. So that's another trigger for the goal to fail. And another thing is unreviewed progress, meaning to say you have your goal, you're able to set it or possibly write it down in a certain paper, but you're not able to revisit it. So in that case, we have the tendency of your goal being sideswept or possibly not being considered at all. And therefore, in a span of like, let's say 2 years or even 5 years, you're not really able to meet it because you're unable to revisit it. You're unable to check on the progress. Like if you would want to become a leader in the near future, but every now and then you tend to tell yourself that I'm fine working in this, 8 to 5 job. This is going to be my role. I'm happy where I am now. I don't want to take any more responsibilities. Then that means that you're not able to further review your progress and possibly strike for the goal that you have in your mind. And set negative goals. So that's another thing that we have, or possibly having too many goals at once that you don't know which goal you're supposed to follow. So these are the trigger factors that can make your goals fail. All right. So of course, the benefit of goal setting is that number one, if you have a certain goal, you have clearer focus. You would know what you want to become. And of course, I have encountered several applicants, whether good or bad. Sometimes they tend to, have a specific focus. Like there was a time when I interviewed a soft-spoken individual. He applied for a customer service position, and he was actually applying for a customer service / sales position. So around that time, while I was talking with him, he mentioned that he would want to climb up the corporate ladder. He is seeing himself become either a trainer or possibly a team leader in the near future. And what I did was I just advised him as to how he can possibly progress or present himself during the next interview stages, what the qualifications are in becoming a sales support specialist or possibly becoming a customer service representative, and eventually what are the qualifications for you to become a team leader or a trainer in your field. And luckily, in about 2 years, this person was able to get himself promoted from being a soft-spoken individual. He became an assertive or an action taker, and the company is able to take pride in having him as an employee. All right. So effective use of time. So when we say effective use of time, we're able to, prioritize our time, manage our time into doing the things that we're supposed to do in order for us to achieve that specific goal. All right. And of course, peace of mind is also another thing, because not knowing what to do or where we're heading will really create a lot of confusion in our heads. So it's really ideal for us to set or possibly write down this. Decision making is also another benefit that we have whenever we set goals. So when we say decision making, we would know how to decide which job offer are we going to accept. So if I have dreams of becoming a sales supervisor in the near future, but there is this specific job offer that I currently have now, which is not really at par with what I have in mind, then I will be able to decide right there and then if I'm going to take the job. So if I take this kind of position, how will I possibly divert or possibly revisit my road into becoming a sales supervisor? But if otherwise, then most probably I'll decline this job because I have something that's already set. I have something in my mind that I'm going to accept if, let's say, that I would want to become very much as a sales supervisor. So it's also a benefit that we have, decision making. And of course, easier measurement of what you do. And then, of course, we also have the freedom of thought, and it's easier to communicate with others at the same time if you have goals at the top of your mind. Okay. So the rules of goal setting would be, number one is to define it. What are your goals? So as fresh graduates or possibly experienced candidates here attending this forum right now, of course, you have to define what are going to be your goals in life. So what are these? When do you aspire to possibly have this set into place? What are your sub goals? So there is this main goal. You will also get to have your own sub goals, and how are you going to execute it? So what kinds of responsibilities, what kinds of jobs will I be taking within the next 2 or possibly 3 years, 5 years? How am I going to include some learnings? How am I going to hone my skills for me to become this kind of person that I aspire to be? And you have to believe in it because, of course, positive belief unlocks the door of success to everyone. And there are other times when we might have negative beliefs at the same time, like doubting if we're able gonna achieve it, or it's highly unlikely that I will achieve it. So if you believe in something, you have positive belief in it, definitely you get to have that in time. So I also believe in the law of attraction. So if everyone here is familiar with the law of attraction, or even saw or read The Secret in Netflix, or possibly read the book. So it's all about this, magnetizing what you would want to be, magnetizing where you would want to be in life or possibly in your career. And you need to win it. So it's another thing. Do what it takes to win. You have to think out of the box and do more. So it's more than just, working day in and day out, monitoring your performance every day. You have to, track your progress. Am I really progressing? Am I really improving in terms of this aspect? And of course, you have to be adaptable. So change is constant in every setting or in every company. Culture is also changing, and we're very much a witness of how it is when the pandemic happened. So when the pandemic happened, all of us needed to adapt. All of us need to go back home. We have to work from home. And of course, it means that there are some changes in terms of your boss possibly calling you way beyond your office hours. So it has actually changed. And, being able to adapt will make you tougher in terms of your work or your career, because at least you would know how to anticipate changes in the near future once again. All right. So what are the goals, do's and don'ts? So number one is never to depend on others. So when we say this, you have to avoid goals that depend on others for luck or accomplishment. So it means that, if I may cite one story, there was this man who prayed to God for him to win the lottery. So he prayed every day, but it didn't happen until such time that he dreamt of God visiting him in a dream. And God told him that he has to buy the ticket first. So it's really a quick story or a quick anecdote that we have in terms of, doing things your way, or possibly exerting the effort, not really relying on everyone, or not really relying on your hopes alone. So it's all about taking action on your own. And then you need to be open from others. So as fresh graduates, whenever you step into a company, you get to have your team leaders, or you get to have your immediate superiors, your supervisors, and they will coach you from time to time. Like if you're not doing something that's right or that's not aligned with the company, then you get to hear that from your immediate superior. But more than that, you have to observe leaders. How would you want to be in the near future as a person or even as a leader? You have to connect with your mentors, or you have to find someone who is your senior who will be able to guide you in your career path. Someone who, more than just coach you, but possibly give you recommendations and inspire you on how you can possibly attain your goals. And another thing is to examine individual goals in terms of importance. You have to prioritize which one is important. This is my sub goal. This is possibly the last goal that I have in mind, which I will try to attain. And also we have examined goals in terms of difficulty of achievement. So it means face challenging goals and taking it one step at a time. There may be certain skills that cannot be learned overnight, but if you take the time into possibly, doing research, reading materials, possibly improving in terms of your performance day in and day out, it will really make all of the changes and all of the significant progress that you're aspiring to have. And last but not the least is time frame. So you need to set a realistic time frame for each goal. So how long do you intend to, achieve this goal? So is it going to last for a year, 2 years? And make sure that it is really, realistic. So we also have here the SMART goals. So this is a lot easier to, by using this as a guide, it's going to be a lot easier for you to attain your goal. So we live by SMART. So it's specific. So goals should be specific, measurable, attainable. So something that you'll be able to achieve. And your goal should be relevant, and it also should be time bound. So all of these I was able to discuss a while ago in terms of, being able to aspire or attain your goal. And words of the wise coming from Mr. Andrew Carnegie. So if you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. Okay, so that's something that we have here. All right, so I'm actually done with my talk. Thank you so much for letting me present. Thank you, Prospel. So I will be checking out on the questions for now, and I will be stop sharing my screen for now.
Thank you, Joyce, for that. There's not just the candidates who might have learned. There's a learning for each and every one of us, from the presentation that you did, right? Yeah, so we just have about 10 minutes left for this session to conclude, and it's very informative. So I'm just open for any questions that any of the attendees may have.
Yeah, I think I'm reading one question from Ryan Paul Thomas. So our sites are located in Ortigas and in Cubao City. So of course, right now we're offering work from home setup, but we would really want our applicants to have the flexibility. I mentioned earlier adaptability to possibly report or have the capability to report on site in NCR, possibly soonest that the pandemic is over or dwindles down. So it's also a possibility, but we're welcoming all applications in terms of this aspect.
Oh, wonderful. And there's someone thanking you for the presentation, Joyce. So yeah, it was wonderful, the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you also, Emmanuel and Sheila. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you were able to get more insights coming from my slides. I hope that you find it inspiring also.
Right, wonderful. So just before we leave, just quick thoughts about, the graduate program, what, Emma, the sleep company, or Folenco might have, since there are no questions out there for, for offshore business processing and even for Cloudeats. So I just wanted to check if there is anything that you guys might want to add, what makes the best graduate attraction for your companies. Who might want to go first, Diksha or Joyce?
Sure, I'll go first and then just can go next. So
Yeah.
I wanted to thank all of you. I think Joyce, it was great connecting with all of you. It's we're e-connecting, but it's been great. We're sitting across the globe and we've been able to communicate with each other. So thank you, Prospel, for obviously organizing this for us. I would really like to say that graduates from all across the globe and all our attendees who are viewing us and having a look, going through our profiles, we are looking, I'm speaking, I think, from all of our behalf, that we are looking at somebody and, people who are, more than just your skill set. It's not something that your skill set doesn't define you. Your skill set will never define you. And, people have, already gone through, I think, a lot in the pandemic. Somebody even mentioned, I saw in the Q&A saying that, I'm mentally very stressed out about the pandemic, should I take a break? And there's a question like that, and I also came to know that Joyce and everybody else also has studied psychology. I'm a psychology graduate, and I feel like this is something that we really need to understand, and I'm going a little off topic, but I would really like to say that your mental health is something that is very important. We as a company also have adapted a lot about it. As for Lenko also, we have mental health associates all across the company, because we do believe that there was a lot of stress that people underwent during the pandemic. So to all of you, to each and every one, it's very important that you take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. And obviously, we would be looking forward to the applications that we have from your end, and it would be great to connect with all of you.
Thank you, Diksha. And one final word from Joyce before we conclude this.
Yeah, so I think just to also add with what Diksha has also mentioned already, and the things that Joyce was able to share about goal setting and all these things, right? Taking care about yourself. I agree with Diksha when she said that you have to also make sure that you take care of yourself. You're at the best optimal part of yourself, because that's how you actually contribute better to the organization and to the people that you're actually working with. So yes, we're always hiring. There's always an open opportunity for very different spaces within Emma and also with the different panels here, the organizations that they're representing. We're always looking for interns as well. But I think we're all closing the year. We're about to close the year, and let's take the time to like really recharge and have that time for reflection also, and make sure that when we start working again next year, we're at our best capacity when it comes to contributing to the organizations, to the people that we're working with.
Wonderful. Thanks, Joyce. And final word from Imelda.
Yeah, so maybe I would like to say thank you for Crossbell, and then so happy, and then I can share a little bit about our organization, and then hopefully like other panelists also, we will wait for the applications from the participants, and then I always say to all of the candidates that are in our recruitment process to say that when you are looking for a job and then you get rejected, just get back up again and try your best, because it's not like the end of the world. There are so many organizations right now that may fit with your characteristic and values. So when you get rejected, it is not because you're not capable. It is not because you cannot do the job. Maybe it's because maybe it's about culture, maybe it's about timing, maybe it's about many things that maybe the organization cannot disclose to you. So whenever you want to find a job, try your best, try everything that you want to try, because it will be I don't think it is fun to regret things that you don't do when you have the chance to do it. So just go find the organization that you want to apply to, and then try your best to get in. If you don't get in, try again. If you don't get in, give yourself a break and then try again. So it's not because you're bad, it's not because you're stupid or anything. It's just because of timing. So this said something about the mental health, and then it has become an issue today. Previously, I didn't really believe it until I experienced a little about it, because the pandemic really bring many uncertain things and maybe make us a lot easier to feel stressful. So I think through all of you participants, just keep do your best, and I think at the end of the road, at the end of the day, you will find something that is fit with all of your dreams and ambitions. I think that's it. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Imelda. And thank each and every panelist over here. It was amazing talking to you all. It was really great connecting and trying to understand what each and every industry from e-commerce or the logistics do.